So they're going to get an objective off of any fight win.
Yeah.
Odds were favoring OG, unsurprisingly, but they're putting their own flair on the secret draft. What is it that made them feel like they should pick this Ember Spirit and demote the Wind Ranger down to a lower farm priority? Is it because of the DK, or they just have a different game plan in mind?
I think potentially could have been the deterrent of this DK pick. High armor here, you can't really kill him. Sure, you have to go MKB maybe. The Mars as well, the Arena, another light counter. But I think Kyle mentioned really good points about how out of all the teams, I think Liquid is the one team with this type of lineup that is somewhat defensive, waiting for later. They can execute it and pull it off. But I think the way that OG got demolished yesterday, I think they got such a foot in their like gusto to come back today that I think their skirmishing ability will potentially outweigh Liquid's later timings.
I don't think so. I think Liquid's got this one.
Oh damn!
I think they're going to be just fine.
We got conflict on the draft panel.
The concern is only the I just think about Thompson Ember Spirit. We talk about why Ember because you have Thompson. You know, he doesn't really want to play this Wind Ranger. Ember Spirit's it's a great game. We can assume there'll be a pre-10-minute Veil on the Bloodseeker. So the damage potential of Thompson is nuts. If he gets off to a good start, it's really tough to kill him. However, I think Liquid ultimately can make more mistakes and still win the game. They really just need one Aegis, one big team fight in the mid game, and with BKBs online, they're unkillable now. You're going to take fights.
OG experimenting around, see if they can get away with secret draft in this 3-position Bloodseeker, and Liquid trying to avoid a 3-way tiebreaker situation. Let's see how it all pans out in game number 1.
Stand and deliver. That's the phrase I've been using to describe Liquid's strategy for this game 1 up against the Bloodseeker, which OG, are they really taking it from Secret or have they developed it themselves? We heard from Matsu yesterday they had watched Seb play the Bloodseeker off lane and made it a strategy for themselves. So now it's their chance to see OG in contact with it and see how it goes.
So what I'm interested in when it comes to this match is we finally get to see what Bloodseeker looks like in a top-tier game when you're not against a Huskar.
Yeah.
You're not against this Huskar Oracle. Is it actually good, or did it only work because of the Huskar picks from OG? So I'm really happy to see that tested here, as well as the Mars buffs in the recent patch. I think this hero's overpowered. I think he's just one of the best offlaners in the game right now, so I'm super stoked to see how he pops off.
And after all, you've got one of the best Mars players in the game, Boxy, who is just an incredibly unique style of offlaner, a player who is so aggressive and simultaneously so mechanically skilled that he's able to pull off some sort of untraditional offlane heroes, even is able to play the mid lane, as apparently he's a scrim partner, I guess, with qojqva. They play the mid matchup quite a number of times against each other. And obviously well practiced with Mars, being his 3rd most played hero. His top lane, we're going to see Insania potentially die here, but he gets out of blood rights, so we'll be okay.
That's an interesting combo, the Bloodseeker with the Wind Ranger Shackle Shot. That's some pretty good setup for the Blood Right. You know, it's no tiny, but it's something.
Yesterday we saw Rubik with it, right? Telekinesis into Blood Right.
Yep. Always want to have some sort of stun to set up for that from your 4 position, just so that way your laning has some sort of kill threat.
Yeah.
It's there.
No. Boxy's going to be paired up with Taiga here in the bottom lane. Phoenix, which I feel like, I don't have the numbers to back this up, Jenkins, but I feel like Liquid has probably run this duo more so than any other tier 1 team. It's just kind of iconic for them, right?
It's a good duo. I mean, just the fact that you just plant all of your things, you put the egg down, you put the arena down, and it's impossible to fight in, but you also can't run away from it because that's the Mars arena.
Let's see Seb being pushed away from the double range combo, which I kind of have to assume is going to be bad for Bloodseeker. Being matched up against CM Dro Ranger, that sounds really painful.
Yeah, you know, he can always default to just shoving the wave with Blood Right, and once he's got the level 2 in that ability, that becomes a lot more true, so I think he should be fine up here.
Turn around on Boxy here, pushes them back with the God's Rebuke, trying to get some distance as he backs away. Fresh round of Fire Spirits is up, so they do back out. Our first blood still yet to be claimed and almost caught there in the top lane against Seb again, but one of these side lanes is definitely going to go down here, Jenkins. They're both so low.
From your grass.
He has no dive on Phoenix.
Yeah, another 7 seconds. Mid one has the open wounds, and there it is. Finally, the first blood is picked up, and it's for No Tails 5 position Rubik.
Man, that Rubik buff to the Fade Bolt damage at level 1 is super noticeable.
Yeah.
I was honestly shocked when they changed that, because like Rubik was in S tier position 4 before that, and then they gave him that, as well as percentage damage, which is great against a lot of these illusion heroes that are getting picked in Drow.
Now let's talk about our mid matchup, where qojqva is currently dominating at 21-5 compared to the 11-2 of Thompson's Ember Spirit. Sox is going to go down to the multi-shot here, and Zeb, well, he's trying to man up against Mickey right now, throws down the Blood Right. Mickey will get out of it, pops his stick, and if he survives through this, they'll manage to get 2 kills for themselves, 1 apiece for Insania and Mickey.
Man, this is a clinic here. Like, how do you dumpster this hard with Dragonite? I feel like every time I see this hero, it's like, oh, it's a Dragonite. He's gonna go even in the lane.
Yeah.
And then he just dumpsters somehow. I mean, shoutouts to qojqva. This definitely isn't just like a DK heavily favored matchup. I think he's just outskilling.
Oh, perfect for Thompson, though. Gets a regen rune. So between the bottle being delivered, getting full up, and then now a regen rune is top of that, he should do fine for the rest of the laning phase. Still concerned about his CS, though.
Yeah, not going for that Flame Guard build, so he can't really jungle up that fast. He can't push out the lane. He's really heavily focusing on killing people in this game, which, you know, that's a Thompson classic. That's what he likes to do.
Yeah, I mean, that's why the draft panel was talking about, is it really going to be Wind Ranger mid? After all, it's Thompson, you know, maybe give him a hero that has a bit more freedom in this game. Soxa once again getting low, and is going to use the Frostbite to try and get the kill. The multi-shot is out onto Seb as well. Insania has 1 more round of nukes, but they'll just get the 1 kill onto Soxa. All 3 lanes going well for Liquid here, as they have the top 3 CS.
Surprisingly, this bot matchup you'd think is super Lifestealer favorite, because you have this like tanky melee guy that you're playing up against. But it's one of these weird scenarios where if Mars is about to throw the spear, do you rage? What if you rage and he doesn't throw the spear? What if you rage and then he just kills you after the spear misses? It's a tough one. It's the same thing with Mars versus Jug. It's not as favored towards that magic immune hero as you would think, just because Mars does a lot of damage outside of the spear.
Oh god, these frost arrows are so annoying. They're gonna come in, try and hit the shackle shot. Doesn't latch to anything. That power shot doing so much damage though, and it almost brings Mickey down. Meanwhile, Insania is looping around the side here. He knows that Seb is somewhere in these trees area, and as soon as he pops out, he sees his opportunity. Raindrop will protect him from 1 nuke, and he doesn't have the mana to throw out the second one here. That may end up getting Mickey killed. To Soxa, he sees the opportunity underneath the tier 1. He's gonna go for the hunt. He gets the kill. Back over to mid lane where Thompson's gonna go down. Insania though still in trouble, has to dodge his Blood Right with the power shot. He's got nowhere to run to and nowhere to hide. A double kill for Soxa.
That's an interesting combo, isn't it? Where you... Oh, No Tail.
They're still going for it in the mid lane, man. They got the kill onto Thompson. No Tail, who tried to come in and help his mid laner, ends up dying as well. So even as that top lane fight doesn't go so hot for Liquid, they get probably a bigger kill on Thompson, right? Because
absolutely. I mean, the best part about it is the siege creep survived, so they got a ton of damage onto Thompson's tower there with the DK form.
And the illusion rune before he lost his dragon form.
That's the dream, dude. You know Thompson wants to nuke these. Like, he wants to kill them. Oh, he's going to send them around.
Okay, okay.
I think, yeah, he's sending them around.
So just damage. 1 at a time, it's just going to hit the tower and just try and get that.
I think that makes sense.
Okay. Well, Thompson, one of the big things, like, they may not be doing the best in the laning phase, but Thompson has a pretty free game here, right? Like, he should be able to run around and get a lot of kills. There are a lot of squishy heroes for him to pick up, one of which is going to be Insania, who is going to have to commit the remnants for underneath the tier 2 tower. This light will do the final blow.
Man, this CM hero can look very hit or miss, even within 1 game. Like, Insania is doing a ton of damage in the laning phase. Like, the nukes look so strong. Yeah, like this happens all the time with Lifestealer. It's such a weird situation to be laning against a Mars, because you don't want to just pop rage and then you don't have it and you just get dove, right?
And it's not like Lifestealer, like, one of the best things about Lifestealer is he feels good about trading hits with pretty much any melee hero. But Mars becomes a lot more difficult because Mars can actually stand there thanks to his shield. And then on top of that, God's Rebuke is a really powerful tool against Lifestealer.
Yeah, it is. And I mean, what can you do if somebody just rushes a Soul Ring like this and they just continue to spam out the spear?
Is mid one close to 6? Okay, I think that's part of what it was. He really wanted to stick around, pick up its level 6, and then he'd full heal.
Yeah, that does make sense.
Off of Infest.
This is a really nice thing you can do with the Bloodseeker is cut behind like that, cut the wave. You just have infinite regen.
Mickey, he knows the Bloodright was going to go out too, trying to get a little bit closer, gets the other side of it, and now they do manage to catch Thompson here, but there's no follow-up to Sable. Boxy still looking for that arena, but Seb is a bit too fast to catch him. So a rotation from Liquid that will not amount in much. But at least Mickey doesn't die. Telekinesis, they're going to save this regen rune for Thompson. Another one. What is that? 2 out of 3 of the runes were regen for Thompson. That's pretty nice.
That's pretty nice when you're playing a Spirit hero. Very nice. Although, you know, he would also... He wouldn't mind a haste rune just to get active in these side lanes. Like, qojqva has been putting on a lot of pressure mid, and Thompson would like to respond to that by pressuring the side lanes. That's kind of how Ember deals with that. I don't think you can kill a DK exactly.
So it seems to me like, oh, Shackle shot into the Bloodright. We're going to see this combo go out. The arena does go down. He gets off a spear first. Now he's stuck inside the Rapture, or the Rupture, and he does manage to get away from behind the arena wall. No-Tail is still going to try and commit for this kill, but all of Liquid is here, and now they're stuck in a nasty situation. No-Tail knows he's dead, so he tried to run at the Mars, but by that point, Boxy had already gotten away. Now Thompson is still here cutting through. They've already killed Insania. And they know there's some low heroes here. First, they're going to spot Mickey here. Chains out into the Bloodright. It does land. qojqva's going to come through, though. It does manage to get a stun onto the Bloodseeker. They're turn onto him. The raindrop protecting him a little bit, but slowed down so much by the Frost Arrow that qojqva is able to collect that kill. A Dragon form well spent, but Thompson, as crazy as he is, you know he wants to continue to terrorize the side of Liquid. Spots a courier, doesn't get it. He's going to see Mickey here, but Mickey is pretty healthy, especially with Taiga behind him. Thompson tries to go with the TP out. This is just crazy, Thompson, and he feeds away a kill to Taiga.
What just happened?
You know, you live by the terrorizing Thompson touch, and sometimes you die by it, you know?
Man.
That fine line between genius and madness, you know?
It really is. It really is. I remember a while back when they were in NA, I think for TI, the amount of people that flamed Thompson, it's like, it's NA pub, so everybody gets flamed, even TI winners. For this sort of thing.
The chains into Bloodright, guaranteeing a lot of damage here. I think he just did one thing of multi-shot to try and slow down the hero so he can get some distance. It's not going to be enough, though. Eventually, he's going to be run down here. Mickey does a bit of damage, but eventually, OG, they finally overwhelm Liquid in this top lane, and now they're set up to actually get some damage on that tower.
Another illusion rune for qojqva. He keeps getting these with the Dragon Knight.
Okay, so we had 2 regens out of 4 runes so far for Thompson, and then 2 illusions.
And 2 illusions for qojqva. On DK. Like and then he just kills a kobold and gets a jelly. Bro, what is happening with the random chances in this game?
It's RNG. I mean, at least it's even, you know? It's incredibly good for both sides.
Gaben giveth and Gaben taketh.
Or maybe he just giveth. 2 different times.
Maybe he just giveth.
Yeah, that's all he does. Well, they do manage to keep that Lifestealer back. You could see mid-1 wanted to try and keep that tower safe, but eventually he decides, okay, this is too much. He heads to the other side of the map, and we have the classic exchange of tower, safe lane tower for safe lane tower.
I do want to go all the way back and say, by the way, that play where Boxy got ruptured and then he ran right outside of the arena radius, that was really cool.
Yeah,
there's been so much happening since then that I didn't get to say it, but that was so cool to see. And then barely surviving, it's like, all right, that's the sort of play that you want to see work, right?
And this is the sort of place we want to see between OG and Liquid. Fast plays that results in maybe a kill here or there. A spear out on in, catches the Ember Spirit and locks in this Bloodseeker into the arena. Just a beautiful wraparound from Liquid that pays massive dividends.
Man, this Mars ulti, they have so much damage to throw into it. They have the Drow arrows, they have all the CM nukes, the CM ulti, they have the DK spell, it's Fire Breath, you have the Phoenix Egg, the Phoenix Fire, like, there's so much to put into this ulti, and the only hero that can really deal with just getting outside of it is the Lifestealer, but still, there's silences, there's disables, like, if you get caught by something, it's just like Kyle was saying, like, you're dead. Liquid has a lot to throw into this Mars ult.
And while we've been elaborating on all the fun stuff that's been happening between both sides, Liquid is now up 5,000 net worth. It feels like it happened very quickly, but they are up a massive amount for 12 minutes in. This is a very big kill, though. Yeah, gonna be able to catch qojqva in his dragon form. Not sure what he was doing that far out by himself.
Yeah, that's basically the biggest kill they could have hoped for. And I think if you're qojqva, it's like, oh man, I was out of position. Like, I was too far up. They didn't even smoke on him. They just ran up.
Look at this, OG. I love how quickly they're playing this now. They throw the gust down, but it only pushes back Thompson. His mid one pops out from the infest to deliver a blow.
So, you know, like, even if it's awful, they will be aggressive.
They established, I think by themselves, they established a meta of aggression. Now, I know a lot of people have problems with that. They're like, Cat, did you not watch MVP Phoenix? Like, yeah, of course, I casted them. But MVP Phoenix never won 2 goddamn TIs. They didn't go through and make upper bracket finals against LGD with that kind of aggression, you know?
This is true. Yeah, OG's something else, man. When they look good, they look really damn good.
Yeah.
But Liquid, I mean, I feel like Liquid's a team like this as well. I honestly think that the fact that there are even going to be tiebreakers in this, the Liquid's in the tiebreakers, that comes as a shock to me. Like, I think this team is so high caliber, even for the group that they're in. I think, I mean, they're the only team that took a game off of Secret, right? So I feel like this Liquid, what we're seeing right now, is them in their full form. I think the games that they lost, they kind of threw.
Nice sidestep there from Thompson, reading the spear, making sure he gets the haste rune, and that shackle shot lasts long enough that the blood right will catch Taiga. That's a kill streak as well. So another pretty decent kill for OG, and 5,000 becomes 3,000 just like that. Liquid is beginning to lose some control of this game. qojqva with the blink dagger pick up to 9, but his no-tail gets the telekinesis to stop the aggression there. And, well, it looks like OG, they don't really care if the dragon forms pop. They're still here in force.
Liquid really just needs to take any fight with 5.
Look at this Thompson guy. He's just insane. He's gonna get caught by the arena spear. Like,
I mean, when he spoon feeds it to them, it makes it kind of easy.
It's like it's daytime and he's running behind the tier 1 tower, you know? Like, they've got vision of him doing that setup. It does create enough space for mid 1 to get that bottom tier 1 tower, but I feel like that was not necessary.
Now, there's quite a lot that can catch Thompson out in this game, now that qojqva's got the blink.
qojqva actually blinking back in here. The rest of his team is going to be joining him soon, but his dragon form is worn out.
I really do feel like we're at the point, okay, I hear a rupture.
Yeah, Dragon Knight going to be initiated on. A hard hero to start a fight on, but Thompson, he catches 2 of the supports in this back line. Now that they see those heroes, nice shackle shot follow-up from Saksa. The Blood Right is going to come in. That's going to be a lot of damage, but they do manage to get Taiga out there, diving through a lot of these heroes. Bumping back, a decent amount of damage on his set, but Mika's got to be careful here. They do have the Phoenix egg, but they don't have the Fire Spirits behind it, and he can never feel comfortable enough to pop it here. And Liquid, they completely lost their chance of being able to take a fight purely off of that chains into
Insania bought back.
Insania bought back. Freezing field going out. No stun there on the Thompson. Otherwise, maybe they could have gotten a kill, but instead it's a dieback for Insania.
And 50 seconds on the sideline too, and we've seen what OG does whenever they take a pick off. Like, they just continue pressuring. I think if you're Liquid after that fight, you're like, all right, we need the Mars ulti to fight. Like, this is the thing that we're throwing all of our stuff into. Without this ult, it's pretty hard for us to fight, and it's not a very long cooldown to wait for. It's just that with all of the pickoffs that have happened, I think that Liquid is feeling a little bit of a pressure to, like, all right, guys, let's just engage in combat. Like, oh, they can't fight us, you know?
Yeah.
But when you lose like 2 or 3 heroes in a row, that changes. You're giving net worth, you're giving XP.
Boxy going for the TP out. The shackle shot, it's not going to be there.
No, the Blood Right only gives vision right in the center, in the little eye, for whatever reason. Mechanics or whatever, but otherwise I think he would have been very dead, and then it would look very bad for Liquid.
I guess that's some of the downside, right? Like, I described it, stand and deliver, right? Because we've got this arena, we've got the egg. Like, Liquid can stand in an area and just turn and fight back against OG, but one of the things that comes with that is commitment. And I think what's a little bit hard here is OG has so much long-range poke, right? How do you stop a slight shackles into Blood right? That's a very awkward way to be able to initiate. And it's making it difficult for Liquid until they find the clean initiation like they just did on Thompson. A Rupture onto Mickey. He jumps back to the high ground. Liquid still respecting OG in this team fight. Taiga's going to come through, try and slow down Seb just a bit. They do manage to get the Sphere onto him. Mid1's going to pop out. Not wanting to stay in Seb any longer. Good play by Soxer, just trying to slow down Mickey, as if he gets on top of anybody at this point with those Frost Arrows, it's going to be hard to disengage. Now they're going to pop the egg there, slow him down with the multi-shot. Soxer going to be caught by the Sphere. Now a Frostbite into the freezing field. Silence follow-up. Mid1 trying to armlet toggle his way out of this one, but he can't. Thompson's back up though. Thompson, he's going to come through, and you know he's going to get aggressive, as he always does. Tries to poke at Boxy here. Liquid staying together as 5, moving back together as well, making sure they don't leave a man behind here. As Boxy continues to get poked at. Here's that slight change into Blood Right. It's an easy way to be able to bring somebody low, but now the freezing field going out from NoTail. He stole it, but it isn't good enough to get a kill. Thompson is able to commit and get the kill onto Boxy here. Kills the core, and now a 2-man Blood Right, bringing heroes low. Seb's feeling good enough that he can go forward, but no! He had an Invis Room, thought he was safe, but trapped underneath the Sentry. One stun leads into another, leads into the silence, and Thompson's dead again. And Seb, who thought this was his chance to get aggressive, is now chased away, as Liquid do manage to make their retreat a reality.
And that unfortunate Sentry there on that Invis Ring, he kind of just baited himself, but man, the Bloodseeker Ember Spirit combo is looking pretty solid actually. Just the, like you mentioned, the slow poke. Like the way Bloodseeker as an offlaner wants to play is by just running around and getting off as many Blood Rights as he can, maybe hitting a few supports, but he doesn't really ever hard commit to fights. And Ember Spirit is exactly the same. Wind Ranger is just fishing for shackles, and so it makes it really easy to fight if you're the one on the aggressive. Yep. However, Liquid starting that fight with a pickoff using the Mars ulti on Thompson, who is really important for setting up that Blood Right, that makes that entire fight look so great for Liquid. It just OG constantly with their back up against the wall.
2,000, 1,000 net worth hopping around a bit, but we do have the 20-minute bounty runes coming up. Liquid, they've got all their ultimates up, ready to go. OG, typical OG, not ones to slow down whatsoever. Are going to go through a 3-man smoke here, not even bringing their Bloodseeker or their Lifestealer up with this top rune, expecting few heroes, but that is not the case. Liquid is here in force, and they're immediately going to be able to get a kill onto NoTail. Is trapped inside the arena, steals Bulwark, not the spell he was looking for. The Rupture onto qojqva, so that allows TPing in from Mid1. He's down here. Seth gets a little bit too close to the Dragon Knight. They've got the Supernova, and the positioning is great, as now qojqva jumps forward looking for more. They're able to get out of range of the Supernova. Thompson wants to keep them in striking distance, but they don't really have the damage to commit anymore, especially with no more Blood Rights. Such a key part of this whole strategy, Jenkins.
Yeah, it really is, man. I'm glad you shouted out Boxy's Mars, because he is absolutely delivering in this game. Every single time NoTail tries to steal from him, it's like, oh my god, he's gonna get Arena. It gets Bulwark. Yeah. Like, he has the presence of mind, setting up all of these fights amongst all of these silences and disables to always cast the Bulwark.
And I think that's impressive, because every pro player, they're reminded of that, and then they pull it off. But whether it's Mars or it's Pango, they always make the mistake at least once or twice. Yep. You know, they're like, oh shit, I gave up that big spell, guys. I'll remember to do it next time. But Boxy hasn't given it up at all. He, from the very beginning, was like, I have to remember to pop Bulwark and deny this Rubik.
Yeah, I mean, he's been getting silenced like crazy too. He's the person starting the fights, right? So everything's being cast on him. He got shackled, he got silenced in that fight. He's soaking everything for his team and also setting up for his team.
And the funny part is we talked about the Bloodseeker and like how he's going to be able to do in this game, and honestly, Seb looks fine. What looks bad for OG right now, and a big reason why they're down 4,000 net worth, is Thompson's Ember Spirit has fallen behind in net worth. All the other cores are pretty even around each other, but Thompson, he's just died one too many times, or probably two too many times.
A few too many. I think you could argue that like the team fight of Liquid is definitely vastly superior to OG. And all we're seeing is team fighting. So maybe what OG needs to do is look for more pickoffs. I do want to shout out to how Liquid is sticking together as a team, though. Like, there was the brief period we saw 2 to 3 pickoffs, and since then, like, they clearly have had a talk, and they're protecting their backlines in fights. They're always sticking together. They're getting the egg off during the Mars ulti, and to have the presence of mind to make that call in a game, to change how you're playing, be like, okay, we need to play team fights differently. Like, that's hard.
They can bring mid-1 to this fight. Trying to go for the spear, but mid-1 too quick on the fingers. Managed to get out the rage, and now Boxy's initiation leads to his death. A 4 versus 5 around the tier 1 tower, but qojqva, he's still going to go for it. A counter spear goes out from the Rubik, but the silence onto the Ember Spirit. Is the Invest going to be able to keep him alive? One more slide, he jumps forward onto the enemy, but he's killed by the fire. Mid-1 going to be slowed down, but he sees the opportunity to get on top of the egg. He brings down Taiga, but the rage is going to wear out soon. qojqva knows that. He's going for the kill. He's trying to finish him off, but the armlet toggle keeps him alive, so instead it's going to be Seb trying to get out of Blood Right. They don't manage to do quite enough and to Lifestealer, but they do bring down Bloodseeker. 2 cores, it costs them a buyback on the side of Liquid, but still holding on to that mid-tier 1 tower.
And that all goes back to that initiation from Boxy. I think that just goes to show how difficult it actually is to get these initiations on Ember Spirit, on Lifestealer. Like you need to hit some silence first, some DK stun. You need to catch somebody off guard. Like if you're OG and you're pressing your buttons really quickly, you can actually get out of all of this team fight BS that Liquid has. It's just that Liquid has been playing the fights incredibly well and together as well.
Yeah.
But that was the one fight that they kind of, messed up the initiation.
Yeah, that was just Boxy's call where he felt like he could outplay mid-1. And the truth is, I think you could pull that off on old Mars, but spear style. If there's no animation, if you don't have to turn around to throw that spear, you could absolutely, I think, catch mid-1 before he pops rage. But
yeah.
This, where you have to blink behind him, turn around, then cast the spear, I don't think that's ever going to work against a player of high caliber like mid-1.
Is he playing on ping? If he was playing on 300 ping, you probably could. maybe they were just testing. They're like, all right, where's he at?
Well, either way, mid-1, he proved himself, and that is an initiation that I think Boxy is likely not to try again.
Yeah, start with the silencer, DK stun, something that's a little more guaranteed, or jump for the backlines. That's also an option, always, as Mars.
Off because they've got this neat combo of the slight to stop blink daggers, basically stop Liquid from getting on top of them, and then shackles into Blood Right.
Absolutely.
And what that can do is force out BKB uses, right?
Yeah,
Then you disengage, then you go back in once the BKB is down. That sounds like a feasible late game plan, but for now, Liquid, as they smoke up, they see an initiation. It's going to be Saksa. The 4 position of OG will die here as he went for the bounty runes. At least he did pick it up, but this kind of pickoff was led straight into Roshan. And what Kyle said in the drafting panel is he felt like one good team fight that leads into Roshan, and once they have an Aegis on the side of Liquid, it is very difficult for OG to beat them.
It does seem like they're kind of expending all the fuel that they have in their tank just to kill Nikkei in a lot of these fights.
And now they're going to try and fight over this one. They do get a beautiful arena spear combination. They take up mid-1 and no tail with that. The Supernova's going to go out, and nobody's near to stop it. Thompson, he's going to be able to get to the other side of the cliffs here. Insania on the hunt. Taiga's also looking for him, but this Ember Spirit is already away, so let's look for a different kill. That's going to be on Seb. Boxy says, how you doing, buddy? Here's a spear, here's a God's Rebuke, and let's go back into the Roach Pit.
Boxy, once again, man, with the clutch spears.
Yep.
That made that fight look so beautiful. They just popped, man. It's like there weren't even heroes there. It's like they've a 20k gold lead when you see a fight like that, but that's the thing. If the fight goes remotely well for Liquid, their team fight is so much better than OG's that it's just going to look ridiculous for them. Like, it looks so easy. But once again, we saw what happened when the initiation is launched. Like, it's not easy. It's just that they're pressing their buttons together.
Well, it took 2 lives, but Saksa does manage to get 3 bounty runes.
Yeah, that's good. That's some gold in his team's pocket. They definitely need it now.
You know what I love, Jenkins, when I say something and I can see you just don't know quite how to respond.
Don't do that.
You do that like...
Stop doing that.
Yeah, like a little bit of... Yeah, I guess so. Like you're trying not to shame me.
Don't psychoanalyze me in front of all of these people. Embarrassing.
Top 3 net worth for Team Liquid, and they finally have broken into a significant lead, both with the Aegis, now a BKB up, and a spear well delivered. A self-Yules comes out for the Ember Spirit, but it just sets him up for Boxy.
Ban Mars, dude. Ban the Mars. This guy's way too good at this hero. It is so OP right now. Slaughter seems like it's coming back too, man. This is Boxy's, like, I don't want to speak too soon, but this is kind of feel like it's Boxy's patch, man. That D patch or whatever that came out, nerfing all the other heroes. I think Boxy's pretty stoked with how this one's going.
Yeah, he's got to be a very valuable asset for Team Liquid. And he's certainly showcasing it in this game one as Liquid now approaches the high ground. OG, though, you can never count this team out, especially when their backs are up against the wall. This is kind of that poke area where maybe they can bring Liquid low enough to really engage, but you can see qojqva just looks so tanky as they keep on putting some spells out on him. But Liquid, they get the tier 3 and they play it pretty conservatively here. Get that and get out.
Did you know that you can still blink backwards with Mars, with the Bulwark? They specifically changed it with just the Spear. That's it. They hard-coded it for Spear. Did you know that Pangolier can blink and he can cast anything in any direction? That hero ignores turn rates. That's a Han hero.
I didn't know that as well. But the reason I knew that, Jenkins, because you taught me before.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You're a big Pango player, too.
Yeah. I mean, those are both my heroes, Mars and Pango.
You're loving this patch as well.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't got to play it yet, but yeah. I'm enjoying watching it. I'm definitely enjoying watching this series, which has had a lot of fighting back and forth. But OG, they got to cobble together a game plan here if they want to prevent Liquid from securing enough of an advantage that it'll feel like OG just can't win team fights anymore. It's already a problem, right? When you're down in net worth against a team that has that superior team fight. Just spells that are easier to cast in a lot of ways. Silence onto Thompson. That's going to be Yule Scepter's box. He's going to be able to get another spear. He doesn't. qojqva tried to go for the stun instead. Nice shackle shot, though. And they've got the rupture onto miCKe. This is kind of a really good setup. They can finish off miCKe and be massive. Trying to deliver the finishing blow. They do manage to get that Aegis, but now they're committed. The spear to the Mars combo with the Supernova going off. Mid-1 is stunned forever and is trained to a silence as miCKe comes back up on his second life. And qojqva sees the opportunity, as always, aggressively blinking forward, looking for that +1, and he finds it in Seb.
Man, finally catching mid-1 there. He's felt kind of immortal in these fights.
Dude, look at Thompson. Very cheeky. He's trying to prevent Liquid from being able to push straight down mid lane by cutting this mid wave.
Man, dude, the creeps had...
Oh, dodging Dragon Tail with a slide there.
Dude, the creeps were following him.
Yeah.
They can't push mid because the creeps are following him because he remnanted into vision.
Yeah.
That's hysterical.
And that's something that he probably didn't know.
I don't think so, but it's very convenient if Liquid can't just beeline it down mid.
Double damage, though, and mid. Oh, Thompson. Again, a good play. A play that, under duress, you kind of have to take certain risks.
His team is up now.
But then the risk became too much.
Yeah, you know, his team has respawned, but then the trade-off is his life. I mean, then again, that was a Drow Ranger with 500 damage, and she did get a proc. So he might just have to buy back anyway. He kind of saved his team's buybacks, but traded his.
Boxy goes straight in for the initiation while OG may still be out of position here. They do manage to hit him with a decent amount of damage, but the Sunray behind him heals Boxy up a significant amount. They're going to double buyback here. Boxy still trying to hold the front line here, but they're going to poke at him. The Blood Right's going to do enough damage. That'll finish him off. BKB from qojqva, and he TP's down. Now it's a question of who's going to get caught in the side of Liquid. They are seriously looking for these kills, but Taiga's away. Look at Insania, a freezing field to slow everybody down. He says, get out, miCKe, get out. But it looks like miCKe has been caught. Insania's going to go for the TP out, but he's not going to make it. miCKe also not going to make it. Big kills for OG. They lost to melee barracks, but honestly, when you're 11,000 net worth down, getting a couple of core kills like that means a lot.
I love seeing a CM make a play like that. That's like some Titanic shit right there.
That was some Hodor stuff right there.
That was
Insania is just, hold the door, get out.
It didn't work.
It didn't work. Bran was still found.
It's just like
in
Hodor.
The wilderness.
Oh no.
The walkers got him. And the walker that's leading the way here is mid-1. The Lifestealer, level 19, is trying to, oh man, he is very poor. Looks like he wants to go for an MKB, I'm presuming.
That. Yeah, they need the damage.
At 32 minutes in, Armlet Halberd.
Yeah, pretty rough. I almost feel like they need an MKB on the Wind Ranger too.
He's got 13,000 net worth. Is that right? Is there some items on the courier?
He's got components to.
So he's got everything from the MKB.
Everything except for this.
Okay.
Yeah, he's got that on the courier.
That makes more sense.
So very convenient for Liquid there. That, I mean, it's convenient. Obviously, this is by design. They obviously played this game. They had the tier 1 and tier 2 up mid. So you can't just run down mid as OG. I think trading 3 heroes for the melee racks there is probably, this is okay. I mean, you are up against an Ember Spirit who can defend it, but it's a mid racks. Like you don't want to lose a rack just in general in Dota. Like, it gives you such a map advantage. It means the next Roche is super easy for Liquid to get.
So what I'm kind of hearing from that trade is worth it once, but like next time Roshan could be up, or next time OG could potentially break your high ground as a result, or force buyback.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. I don't think you necessarily want to, keep doing that. You do that 2 or 3 times and you probably lose Dota.
Yeah.
People can just go down mid and throne these days. Level 30s are insane. Late game is crazy. Talents are nuts. Like, really, racks in the ultra late game don't matter that much. But at this point, it's super effective.
There's the MKB. Ooh, Scotty for Mickey.
A lot of healing on OG, so good counter in that sense.
Yeah, and he just as easily could have just defaulted into Butterfly, but then he would have been hard countered by the early MKB from the Lifestealer.
Yeah, you really don't see Butterfly too much these days. It's really like Halberd if Harry wants to get an
Butterfly just garbage?
I mean, MKB is just too good, I guess, and Bloodthorn and Halberd. Like, there are, options.
Yeah, when MKB is a good item, and then there are other... Oh, initiation from Soxy here. The stun into the Blood Right. This time they're going to make sure Boxy can't get the same kind of initiation from the silence. On to mid one. He's in trouble. He needs an infest out. He needs to be able to survive. Pops the rage, but it's not going to last long as he just wilters under the full force of Liquid. They lean their full weight into him, and that's now 3 heroes dead with no buyback, and Liquid, they're going to go for that second lane of barracks.
I got to see that fight recap, man. I feel like Insania did so much damage. Oh, it's gone. No! GG. I feel like Insania did so much damage in that fight, though, with his freezing field BKB.
Hey, I know it's only been like 5 years of asking for this, but I would still love a button that brings up the last team fight recap.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, 5 years though.
Get on that.
I think it's hard to develop it in that short of time.
devs. Or 3.
Tier 4s, okay, let's just go straight for the throne. 30 seconds left for the Lifestealer, 40 for the Ember Spirit. I don't think OG can repel firepower of this magnitude, Jenkins.
Yeah, they've got the Blood Right, but it's a lot of damage.
They look to be able to slow it down, but Rupture's not going to stop it. And Blood Right is just going to poke over and over again. They might be able to get the kill on Boxy, but Throne is exposed. They're going to go for the kill on a set before they deliver the kill onto the Throne. That is just going to be it for game number 1 as Liquid do manage to take it with just a very strong team.